Hello and welcome back to another Duel Links episode. Today I will be going over a box review on this mini box that has just been placed. I will be going over the UR and SRs in this box. The rares and below I think are pretty self-explanatory, but I will give you my thoughts on if it is a viable card to try and go after or not. So the first UR we have is Arcanite Magician. Do I think this card is valuable at a UR card being a level 7 synchro monster? There are applications for this. Do I think it will be top meta? I do not. Yes, it has a good effect that allows you to place 2 spell counters on this card, and it gains 1,000 for each spell counter, and then you can remove 1 spell counter from your field, then target 1 card your opponent controls and destroy that target. Now, it states that you can remove 1 spell counter from your field. It does not mean you have to remove it from this card. So if you play this in a spell counter deck, this card can become extremely powerful. Especially when you start putting spell counters on this card, you can really beef this card up. Does it have potential? Yes. Do I think that it will use too many resources and it takes too long for it to become top tier? Yes. Do I think it'll be fun to play? I do. But I just think there'll be too many resources that have to go into this card to make it top tier. Now that brings me on to Psychic Wielder, which this card can be extremely dangerous. Watch out for this card. Here's the reason why. This card allows you to special summon this card once per turn if you control a level 3 or other monster. So if you control another level 3, you can special summon this card. Why is this good? Because it is a tuner. This tuner allows you to you can synchro summon a monster then. Typically you'll be looking at the level 6 synchro summons, but it is still a viable option because you can build a whole deck around level 6 synchro cards. We have enough of them in the game now that this card can be extremely dangerous. The second effect allows you to destroy a monster on the field with less attack than the synchro monster that used this card as a material. Therefore, if you have a level 6, for example, this card down here, Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth, he's a level 6 synchro monster. You can synchro summon this card because it just states 1 tuner and 1 or more non-tuner monsters. You can synchro summon this card the very first turn by summoning 1 level 3 monster, special summoning the Psychic Wielder, and then you can synchro summon to this card. Since he has 2600 attack, Psychic Wielder's second effect allows you to destroy 1 monster that is 2600 attack or less. That is a huge effect for this card. Watch out for this card. I do see this card being very popular in synchro summon decks. Dimensional Prison. Is this card a good card? Yes. Is it something that you'll want to try and go after? I could easily see that because there is no limit on this effect. So when the opponent monster declares an attack, target that attacking monster and you banish it. So as soon as it's banished, it's gone. It doesn't come back to the field, it's banished. So if you're playing anything outside of the dinosaur deck that, once it's banished, you get to special summon it, this card can be extremely popular. It can stop an attack. It can save you. This card will be powerful, and I can easily see this card being used. Down to the SRs. The Naturi Landois. Do I see this card being effective? Well, let's read it. While this card is face up on the field, you can send 1 spell card from your hand or the graveyard to negate the activation of effect monster's effect and destroy it. Can it be used? Yeah. Will it be popular? I don't think so. I don't necessarily think it'll be that popular because you're still using a resource to stop an effect monster's effect and destroy it. And if you do not have a spell card in your hand, then you're kind of out of luck. So, do I see this card being used? I'm sure it'll be fun to use, but will I see it being top tier? I don't see it. Kind of along the lines of Gaia Knight, the Force of Earth. Will it be used? Yes. Will it be popular? Maybe. But I think that this card can be better. So I think, because there's no effect on it. So with it not having an effect, it's just 2600 attack at asynchro summon with 2 resources. So unless you're using something like the Psychic Wielder that gives you an effect on this monster, I do not see it being that popular. But who knows? I could always be wrong. This is just speculation on my part. So Elemental Hero Escuridio. I probably butchered that, but whatever. So 1 Elemental Hero monster and 1 Dark monster. This card will be extremely popular in the Masked Heroes with the fusion, with an actual fusion card. Because this card gains 100 attack for each Elemental Hero monster in your graveyard. So this card can become very popular, and I think that's where you will see this card being used, is not necessarily as the main focus, but as a side support in the Masked Heroes, which it will be fun to play with this card. It still will be fun. Millennium Eyes Restrict. Now this is a card you'll want to watch out for, because it requires relinquished and 1 effect monster for fusion. Once per turn, as an opponent activates a monster's quick effect, you can target 1 effect monster your opponent controls, or in their graveyard. That is huge. Or in their graveyard. Equip that target to this card you control. This card gains attack and defense equal to that equipped monster's. Monsters with that equipped monster's name cannot attack. That is huge. Also, their effects on the field and their activated effects are negated. This is huge. When our top meta is basically geared around monsters' effect and how we stop them. That's why Canadia is so popular. You can flip it face down and their monster effect does not work. You attach an effect monster that is popular, like a Kokai Miru. You attach that to him, he becomes almost unbeatable. This card can be very, very popular. Watch out for this card. If you have your chance to get this card, I strongly suggest it. This card can be extremely viable, and I can easily see this card going top tier. Gilf the Phantom Bird. Now, you can discard this card, add 1 Golden Castle of Stromberg from your deck to your hand. That is a rare in this. Will it be top tier? I do not know. There's a lot of effects and activations that go into the Golden Castle of Stromberg. I can say that you might be able to see this, but it can also be. Will it be top tier? I don't think so. But this card has a second effect. If this card is normal summoned or special summoned, you can target 1 card in your opponent's spell and trap card zone and destroy it. You can only activate this effect once per turn. So, basically what you're saying is you summon this card, you destroy 1 spell or trap card in your opponent's zone. That's huge. This is basically a free Winged Beast card that allows you to summon. Guess what? You destroy a spell or trap. That's huge. This is an SR version of several the Magic Knight. I can't even think of them. Anyways, moving on. This is huge. It is definitely a good effect to have. Will you see this card? Yes, I strongly suggest you will see this card more than once, and it will be played in decks that you will probably not even think of. Perfect example, you can actually play this card because it is an effect card. You can actually play it in a relinquished deck. So keep that in mind. Moving on. Naturia Mantis. When your opponent normal summons a monster, you can send 1 Naturia monster from your hand to the graveyard to destroy that monster. So this can be effective if you're playing a pure Naturia deck, and it can be powerful, but at the same time, will it be viable? Yeah, I can see that, because the effect itself, when your opponent normal summons a monster, but that's only normal summons. And so with special summons happening all the time as well, will it stop your opponent? No. Will it slow them down? Maybe a little bit. It'll cause them to use their back row resources and stuff to bring out the special summons. So will it stop them completely? No, I do not think so. Will it throw a wrench into their plan? Yes, I do believe so. Is it a card that I would actively try and seek and go after? No. I would probably go after Millennium Eyes, Psychic Wielder, Dimensional Prison, and honestly probably the Elemental Hero, just because of the effects and the synergy behind going with the Masked Heroes. So moving on, the Madolches. When this card you control is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, shuffle this card into your deck. When this card is normal or flip summoned, you can add one Madolche monster from your deck to your hand. This card will be beneficial for the Madolches because you can basically search your deck for the specific card you're looking for. Madolche Hootcake. When this card is in possession, is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to your graveyard. Shuffle this card into your deck. You can target one monster in your graveyard, banish it, and if you do, special summon one Madolche monster from your deck, except Madolche Hootcake. You can only use this effect of Madolche Hootcake once per turn. So this is great for the Madolches. I do see the Madolches coming back as being very powerful and very, I would almost say, annoying, but I can easily see them becoming top tier with these cards. But it's going to be across several decks for you to build an effective Madolche deck. So do I see going after just this one mini box for the Madolches? No. I would not just summon on this deck for the Madolche cards in this box. But if you already have the Madolches, then going after these cards would benefit you as well. Defender the Magical Knight. If this card is normal summon, place one spell counter on it once per turn. If a spellcaster type monster on the field would be destroyed, you can remove one spell counter from your side of the field for each of those monsters instead. So the nice thing about this card is that it has 2000 defense and it is a spellcaster. This card will be beneficial in those decks that you need spellcasters, like your Silent Magicians, that require a sacrifice of a spellcaster type monster. 2000 defense is great because 2000 defense, it's hard to beat. But if you are normal summoning this card, not flip summoning, that's the only way to get the spell counter on it. But there's enough other spell counter type decks that you can combo this with it being a 4-star. I'm sure there's going to be some way to get the Arcanite Magician that allows you to place 2 spell counters on it. So do I see plays happening with this? Yes. Will it be top tier? I don't know. I think with the right cards it might be. So it'll be something to look into. The last SR. Rocket Hand. Target one attack position monster you control with 800 or more attack. Equip this card to that target. It gains 800 attack. You can send this equipped card to the graveyard, then target one face-up card on the field, destroy it, then change the attack of the monster this card was equipped to 0. Also, its battle position cannot be changed. You can only use one Rocket Hand effect per turn, and only once that turn. So basically what this is doing is it's giving you 800 attack on a card, on a monster. And if you wanted to, you can use this card to destroy an opponent's monster. So it has a nice secondary effect, but just having the 800 attack and 800 attack onto, 4 stars can go anywhere from 1900 up to 2300, so I can easily see this card being very beneficial. I can see this card being used more often just on the simple fact of its second effect of allowing you to destroy an opponent's monster. So I can easily see that, but it does not look like you can use that effect in the battle phase, so keep that in mind. But if you add this to one of those 4-star cards that have like 2100 or 2300 attack, that they get immediately put into defense position with 0 attack, or 0 defense rather, it might be worth it to use this card in those decks. It'll be interesting. But anyways, that's the UR and SR card review on the dimensions of the Wizards and my thoughts on which cards you should probably go after. Does this box have some good cards in it? Yeah. Is it something that you can build an entire deck around just using this box? No, I don't believe so. But it definitely will give you some additives that can make other decks more viable and more fun to play. So with that, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment if I left something out or you have your own comments on these decks, or these cards rather, and if if you think you should actually go after these cards. Other than that, keep on dueling and have a good time.